graduated in February of 44. Well, in April, I received notice from my draft board to report to Omaha, Nebraska for my pre-induction physical. After I got my 1A, a man interviewed me and asked me what branch of service I preferred. And I said, well, I'd like to join the Marines. He looked at me and he said, you're Japanese, aren't you? I says, yes, I am. He says, didn't you know that the Marines are the only ones fighting the Japanese? And I says, well, I thought I might come in handy because I understand a little Japanese. And he says, well, I appreciate your loyalty. And he took a rubber stamp and he stamped my papers and it said classified service. That meant that I was limited to certain areas of service. Then orders came through for me to report to another white company. The platoon leader came to me and he said, Tsutsui, I want you to be a squad leader. And I looked at the lieutenant and I said, sir, you know I'm Japanese. He says, yeah. He said, and I said, well, I don't know how the guys would be, taking orders from me. He looked at me, he says, you're an American, aren't you? I says, yes, sir. He says, you're my squad leader. And upon receiving my discharge from active duty, I enlisted for 3 years in the enlisted reserves. In the meantime, my wife had moved to New York, and she was working in New York as a governess. So I went to join my wife in New York, and I missed the slower pace of living in Los Angeles. And so I convinced my wife that we should come back to Los Angeles and start our family here. We came back in the latter part of 1946. I decided to transfer my family from Los Angeles to Orange County. We bought a home in Santa Ana, and this was in 1960. And when we moved into that home there was nothing but farmland all around. It was before all the development started. In the meantime, I had worked for a restaurant called Miyako Restaurants. After I left the restaurant in 1980, I went to work for a landscape construction company, and as sales manager. And the largest contract that I was able to obtain for the company was the landscaping of Main Place in Santa Ana. And so we moved to Leisure World in the year 2000. I think that's one of the best moves that I've ever made. I belong to the Rod and Gun Club, and you couldn't ask for a better group of guys. We're just one big family-like. We have everything here, and including wonderful people.